So today we're going to be replacing an electric water heater. I think it's at the end of its life cycle. We've got this new one here. And so we'll start, we've got the power off, the breaker. That leads to this. And we'll start by turning off the water and draining the tank. So this is a well system, and this is the line coming right off the well into the house, the main line. It's shut, and then this line I think runs to the other side of the house.
Yeah.
It's off.
Oh yeah.
It's already off. So we'll just use an ordinary washer supply line hose into the drain. And you can see it's leaking out of the drain. It's leaking in a lot of places. So just, there's a little bit of something in there. Let's try to pull that out. It's probably full of sediment. Connect that. Just tighten that up. Try to open this without cracking it. There we go. Oh. Yeah, the plastic's pretty brittle. And these. So we've got the drain hose connected to the valve on the bottom. It is running out. And you just, you can hear probably a lot of sediment coming out too, clogging it. But this is just attached with the regular garden hose connection. And just twist to open the valve. It's starting to come out of there pretty good, so now we just let it drain probably 20 minutes and come back and cut the pipes. So the hose is draining pretty good, and we'll just open up this overheat valve and or maybe a set of taps in the bathroom back here to let air come into the tank as the water drains out. So as the washer's draining, we'll pull out the electrical line. There's just a conduit nut in behind holding this on. We'll test these to make sure they're not live.
That beats a 99-cent tester.
Let's see sparks for sure. We'll just take that out of the way for now. And don't lose this. And then as soon as it's drained, we should be able to cut these lines and pull it out. I can't find a year on it. But when do you think it was replaced?
Probably about 20 years ago.
This one's only got a 6-year warranty, so maybe it'll last another 20 years.
Yeah. I guess I last that long.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to cut it open to see what it looks like inside after 20 years. 20 years of well water. So as the heater's draining out, we'll cut the supply lines. And we'll go about there to give us some room.
3/4 inch one, and then there's a corresponding 1/2 inch one. And there's a certain direction they're supposed to turn, but I really like them. They're spring loaded, as long as you can get into the pipe and get around on it. It's easy. A lot easier than the old ones where you have to turn them and then tighten them, turn them. It keeps the spring in there, it keeps constant pressure on. So as you turn it, it bites in towards your pipe much faster and easier. Cut that part out. I don't know why I started to skip down. Oh, maybe I wasn't going the right direction. Like I said, there's a... yeah, I must have been going backwards and it started to spiral down.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
as you turn it, it locks in and keeps that... There's something in there keeping pressure on that blade as you turn.
That one will just turn off.
Yeah.
And we'll just turn these fittings off.
Corroded on there too.
Channel locks.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that before.
How tight it is.
No, it's, well, yeah, all of them. It's got to be corroded from the water.
Let's see the condition of the pipe. Not bad. This side of the tank is not bad. Even actually inside this copper pipe.
Oh.
It's pretty clean. But just at that fitting, I guess there was buildup. Oh, there you go. And these old valves with the rubber washers in them, no good, eh? They wear out. They tend to start leaking unless they're fully closed or fully open. And just, oh, you gotta start hitting into that.
There you go. This one comes off a lot easier.
Just, so that's the cold water coming in, eh?
Yep.
There's rust from that fitting here from the tank, but the pipe looks pretty good. Not horrible. But yeah, I always like to replace these valves with ball valves. Just better technology. Oh. Getting dripped on. Can't really see in there, but yeah, it's probably time. It's probably about 5 years overdue.
Yep. Okay.
So we'll just shine up the end of that pipe, clean it up with the wire brush. Oh, there, something must have unclogged now, starting sediment or whatever must have come loose. That's still in good condition. I
think that'll solder up really well. Got some emery too I can use. Clean it up and I'll hit that with emery cloth.
So we'll use Teflon tape and some pipe dope on the threads. Thing's still draining out. Oh, we'll put some dope on there. This is the Oatly Great White Pipe Joint Compound. I use this shit on everything. It's like Frank's hot sauce. Apply liberally wherever you don't want it to leak. And it makes kind of a mess when you get it on yourself. But it's the only thing I found consistently on almost any type of fitting. You know it won't leak if this is on there. But like I said, it tends to get on everything. Your hands, your tools. So I usually have gloves, but I didn't have any in this box. Just left them in my coat, so. Great stuff. And same with this PEX, the ring fits around this fitting and actually can turn.
And it can,
Like they're not fixed. So if you had it in place and you need to move this water heater or you needed to tighten up this fitting just a turn or two, it can be done once that is on, the PEX is in place. Like if you notice it's leaking or sweating out after.
and I think that's good enough for that.
Yeah, just tight. Not too, don't snap it off. But they're tight?
Yep.
Okay.
You clean the ends of the pipe with a wire brush, but just to clean them up and polish them. Use some emery. Smooth it out. I think we're good.
So, I'll just grab the solder and stuff. I'll get this ready. And if you bend it over, you know how much you're using. If it's flat, you're just sort of, you could be using the whole roll and you wouldn't really know it. But if you bend it over, you figure that's, you know when that much is used up, right?
I have one question.
Yes.
Do I get paid overtime?
Double time on the weekend.
Oh, more than I expected.
So this I also cleaned. And so just apply liberally inside. And onto there.
And the flux draws the solder in. Heat the joint. There. Should be good.
Time will tell.
Yeah. But like I like this MAPP gas. It's a lot hotter and faster than propane.
Oh.
And it heats it up, and as soon as the solder starts to melt, you're pretty much good to go. And then you just get it in that joint, and then the capillary action of the flux pulls it in to the joint.
Oh, yeah.
I think it should be good.
You need the other fitting?
No, we'll slide that on.
Oh, that's right too. Yep. Okay. So you're done with that then?
I think so. Like you can see, a lot of times like a person will overfill a joint. And then when I first started too, I was always worried it wouldn't take it, and you get drips, big drips coming out the side.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be. And if I would have had a rag, it could have made it even neater. But I just don't have a rag on me. You know, but it's not over full. But there's some there, and the back is full. Probably cooler back there.
It's good.
And then we're ready to crimp onto there with PEX once this is cooled. Once it's in place, and done.
Will it fit through there?
No.
Yeah, it will, but it's not quite square. There you go. So we've got the new water heater in. And we'll start connecting our water line. This will be our connection at the top. It's the shark light fitting. So we'll just start with that. And if you imagine, it's got to go into about there. There. Once that's seated, that'll be in there forever. And our valve should go about there.
Wherever you figure.
I'll just grab some PEX rings. So take a valve, and so we want it to be off like this, on like this. So it's going to be about there. So you just stay back about that far. Slip it on, hopefully it doesn't slide. Get it to where it needs to be. It's on forever.
I guess.
Yeah.
Just putting quite a bit of pressure on there.
Yeah, see that? Because of the curve of the pipe, eh?
Yeah.
Try to straighten that out a little bit. Without kinking it too bad. That's a little better. Just from being in that roll. There, try that. And this one will go on. So this is just confirming the cold side and the hot side.
if your pipe is cut square, it just sits right down onto your fitting. And if the ring is centered in the tool sitting on the fitting, you're pretty close. Yeah.
Right there. So the ring has got to be on before you push this in. Something like that. And like I said, it can turn
Right.
after it's attached. So it'll find its way, I guess, as this straightens out over time. So we'll have that on. And then for this one, we'll use 1/2 inch. Just a 1/2 inch roll. Cut that part out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not quite square on that edge. So I'll just cut a nice square edge. This Milwaukee tube cutter is an amazing tool. Really sharp and it cuts all sizes. Nice square edge. Like that. And if your tool will just fit in. Now, so we'll run 3/4 inch line off the tank. And reduce the 3/4 to 1/2 inch up there. So the pecs just crimps on like that. I'm just going to cut this close to get it out of the way. And then the 3/4 to 1/2 inch reducer goes in. You could do this many different ways. And I think on gas heaters, you have to run copper 18 inches because of the combustion. But I think on electric, you'd be fine without it. So just straighten this out a bit. You know it's connecting when you're gritting your teeth and you break it, smash your tooth. See, now this angle works better that way, so I just turn the pipe. And that should be right on. After a while, you get used to how to cut them and give yourself just enough room.
Yeah.
Like that. And sometimes in older houses, there'll be a longer run hanging down, and it's not such a sharp hole right there. So a lot of times you've got a few inches of room where you can figure out where you need to bring it up a little bit in the center maybe, so there's not as much pressure on the pipe. But in this case, this is pretty rigid. So I hope you don't have any earthquakes.
Yeah.
There. The plumbing is done.
And that's it for that.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta see this.
Well, we'll close this just so when we turn it on, you can get that first hit, and if something is ever going to leak, you'll see spraying. And then we can open it up and fill the tank.
Okay.
So we'll open it back up. There. And I notice whenever I do supply lines, if you open it, crack it like that, you hear it run and it'll stop.
Yeah.
If you hear it run and then it runs a little, it's leaking somewhere, but let's try it. Yeah. So you're good, there's O-rings in there.
Yeah. Okay, before you do that, it's like having breakfast first thing in the morning. Make sure the bottom valve is shut.
What does it say? Open with screwdriver. So it's shut.
Oh, okay. Good enough?
Yeah. So I guess we'll open this to let air bleed in.
Yeah.
Oh, the air will, yeah, the air will go at the top, yeah, I guess, yeah. When your shoes get wet, you close this.
Yes.
That looks good, that's where we want it.
Actually, I'll open that one.
Yeah. Just the hot side, right?
Yeah.
There, so the tank is all installed, it's all bled out, it's filled up, no leaks, and it's wires are connected. We're going to turn it back on. Oh, there we go, it's sizzling, it's cooking water. I'll let that heat up and go for lunch. So the new hot water heater is in and it's working fine. Hey, Charlie boy. And we've cut the old one, and we're expecting a lot of sludge, but it's really bad. There's 8 or 10 inches of rust and scale in there. 20 years of, you know, pretty normal service with hard well water. So yeah, I definitely recommend a filter. Probably would have helped a lot, and I don't think there was any service done to this in 20 years, so probably draining it every year or two would help a lot too. But the new one's in and should be good to go.